So the Scum puts out this article on Johnny Depp about how he abused Amber Heard's dog. Let's talk about how they're wrong even if they're right. Here we see the article from the Scum, and I might need a fact check. I might be getting the name wrong there. Anyway, Depp dog. Johnny Depp laughed about putting Amber Heard's dog Pistol in microwave and dangled it out of car window. So they gotta just print the most clickbaity, drama-filled, unbelievable stuff they possibly can. And like I said, we're going to talk about why, even if I grant them this is correct and Johnny did this, first of all, it doesn't matter towards the abuse. Second of all, coming from Johnny Depp, he's done such good things that it cancels this out. But, of course, I'm not saying I think it's true. I'm saying hypothetically, even if it was true, then I'm going to say something about that. Okay, here we go. He is then said to have made howling noises while traveling in a car with Heard, her sister Whitney, a driver and assistant, Nathan Holmes. I mean, of course, Whitney's going to say anything she needs to say for Amber. So, you know, your own sister as a witness, I think, really doesn't say too much. I know Johnny's had his exes as witnesses, but, you know, as you guys can imagine, exes aren't always friendly towards you. So having friendly exes is a good thing. In most cases, in my opinion, a sibling, especially a sibling you're on good terms with, is probably going to say what they need to say for you. The shocking claim was made at the High Court today, where Depp is suing the Sun, referring to him as a wife beater in a 2018 article. And why was it made? Why are they saying things about ecstasy and Johnny's passed out, he's hanging a dog out the window, he's wearing sunglasses, he plays guitar, he reads comic books, you know, anything they could possibly say that gets our mind off the track of the main abuse. Seems like they don't have a very strong case, and by the way, this is not even the main case. This is not the main case about the abuse. This is the case about the slander and Johnny Depp being called a wife beater. This is kind of like a warm-up, and we could already see they don't have so much good information already. Sasha Was QC, representing the Scum, said, when you were in the car, you were smoking and you opened the window and you were angry and you were aggressive, rather like you were in that clip we saw yesterday, the monster side of your character. Everybody has a side to their character where they get angry and irritated. That's just for anybody, really. And you took hold of Pistol and you held her out the window and started making howling noises. Proof? Recording? Video? If not, it's just a ridiculous thing. Here we see Amber Heard, and, you know, she looks like she could be tired, but she also looks like she could possibly be, I don't know, high. Like they accuse Johnny of being all the time. Just saying. It could be either or, but that's my personal, silly little opinion. And I guess this here is the dog. And by the way, the dog doesn't look unhappy. I mean, not like a dog's necessarily going to look unhappy or sad or something, but if you've been around abused pets or you've seen them, you know they kind of not quite the same as far as like the smiley face and things like that, right? So this dog looks okay to me. Looks fine. The actor responded, meaning Johnny Depp, I can say it is a very endearing image, but it is absolute utter falsity. It is fraudulent. Miss Wasp then suggested Depp thought this was funny, to which he responded, no ma'am, I don't think hanging an animal, a small defenseless dog that weighs 3 pounds out a window is fun. I would think he was probably laughing at the ridiculous accusation. Depp was also said to have later laughed at a running joke about putting the pooch in a microwave. He said, I wouldn't say that I was the inventor of that particular joke, and also I wasn't the only one who brought anything like that up. The Pirates of the Caribbean star was also grilled during his evidence about an incident where the tiny pooch had eaten some hash, some cannabis, quite a lot. Depp admitted the puppy got a hold of a little ball of hashish and scooped it up before I could get to it. This is what we're talking about, guys. I almost can't believe this bullshit is real. So, Johnny Depp is in court versus the Sun, and Amber Heard, by the way, and they bring up the fact that Amber Heard's dog ate cannabis. Is this comedy skit? Is this article here for shits and giggles? What are we talking about here? All right, you know what? Back in my college days, I knew people who actually got dogs high. So, how far off the track are we here? we're pretty much in the clouds now. This is like out in space. If we could talk about Amber Heard's dog eating cannabis, in this case, we could talk about just about anything. The star has been accused of being a serial domestic abuser who would lash out at Heard when he was on drink and drugs. But continuing his evidence today, Depp called the allegations a hoax. Depp was yesterday accused of turning his rage and frustration on Heard, 34, when he failed to control his drug and alcohol abuse, which we know was ecstasy and getting drunk and falling asleep, basically. But if they want to say abuse, okay. He descended into physically destructive behavior, causing him to refer to his drunken and violent persona as the monster, it was said. And, come on. You or me or the writers here at The Scum haven't given themselves a nickname when they argue with their wife or their girlfriend or something. That's just a normal thing that doesn't really need to even be brought into the picture. So what I was going to say is this. Now, some of you, like serious dog lovers, might take issue with it, but I'm going to say the way to beat your enemies in an argument, if you're wondering, is you say you're right. But even though you're right, you're still wrong. So I like to refer to the fact that Johnny Depp goes to children's hospitals who have cancer, okay? So that's a good deed. And by the way, Johnny Depp has $400 million, to my knowledge, something like that. He doesn't have to do this for more fame or more money or more recognition. And I'll say this, my wife works with cancer patients, sometimes kids. It's not easy, and after you see it, you're scarred from it, and you have to remember it. So no matter how much money you have, you're still making a personal sacrifice doing it, and you're doing a great thing. So even if Johnny held pistol out the window and laughed about putting it in a microwave, I think all those kids with cancer that he really brightened up their life kind of makes up for that and cancels it out. So even if the Scum is correct here and Johnny did that, they're still wrong and they have no point and it's irrelevant completely. Now, I'm trying to think what tabloid this is. I can't quite recall. You guys let me know in the comments if you know the tabloid name here. It just escapes me because this is so ridiculous I can't consider it a news story. Anyway, if you guys are new here, consider subscribing. I'm doing Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard, obviously. Pop culture, some Star Wars. It's been a while, but when news comes up, I will hit some Star Wars. If you don't subscribe, well, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it, make a new video, move on. See you next time.
Central Parkway in